And what is going on, my guys? It is Lindsay. Welcome back to another Talking Toku Live, and we're gonna take down starting soon. Starting straight off with an Ninpu Sentai Hurricanger. That's actually from the 10 Years After film, but yeah, let bring a bit more fit in there. Let me just share that. I could probably try and make that bigger. Let's make it smaller, like that. Okay, so why this image? I'm gonna start off with is that for the longest time, even when I was rewatching Ninja Storm back in 2017, I thought this was Thunder Dolphin. Then again, Ninja Storm came out in 2003, which is when Thunder Dolphin opened, but Hurricanger is from 2002, and that actually looks more like dueling steeplechase track. And also, Big O was never painted yellow. So like, did Toei know something about Thunder Dolphin before anyone else? It kind of makes sense they would have producing a Super Sentai at the Tokyo Dome, because like Denzi Men use that a lot. I think many other show series heavily used it as well. I know the live episode. There's a whole. Technically, I was saying like April Fool's Day special, the Live Man one, but there's a funny moment in Live Man where Ublar's last monster, Study Brain, like they end up getting to the amusement park and he rides Tokyo Dome's old jet coaster, which I think is very funny, but saying all that is quite interesting. Spoilers for the next live stream, which will be not Toku. Because we'll be focusing on Dueling the Phantoms, Kansas Against the Universe, and to an extent Muppets Now, as well as the Secret Side of Second Born Royals. I think that's the title. That should be, I'm guessing, late October, maybe early October. Depends how quick I get through Dueling the Phantoms. Like only 8 episodes, I can probably get through that in a weekend if I don't have a lot to do, school-wise or errands-wise. But we'll see on that. I think I posted to Twitter, actually, News I'm looking for is from the Sentai version of Snippet Good. Anything else in my head? So a few months now. I started watching this at the end of July. I was looking at these old ones, like almost 18-year-old me reacting to Night Squad, 7-year-old me reacting to Wegmans, 7-year-old me with 7-year-old me reacting to Webkins, because the whole thing, like Sentai 5 posted his 9-year-old's reacting to Forever Red. I was a lot later in July. No, we actually wrapped up late June, early July. Like July 15 was when I ended the series, and you kind of just as gay rights, because like started talking about how Shimatsu's counterpart was mentioning that like you can date guys, guys can date guys, like in like one of the Endgame episodes, something that popped up. We're just going to talk about Hurricanger way back when I was going to do my MASH review. And that was beginning of July. Okay, another funny one is Ishu be like, I'll burn the city, show how much I love you, and also so Kanjo doesn't have to. Because like it's kind of thing that like they said girls like stuffed animals. That's kind of big, maybe of a Japanese stereotype. But then he ends up getting a cowbird to trade her to her boyfriend, who is a guy she likes, fan of. And then, but during the episode, he is actually a Shurikenja disguise, and that's how they get into the fight in Hurricanger and not the love spell. Yeah, so I think it's like episode 6 or 7 of Hurricanger. You can see a bit of Trigonum's old inverted impulse. It actually doesn't have the spinny end like the ones that we know of, like, Possessed, Wicked Twister. Flash V2 over on Discover Kingdom, that's unique because of the height restriction and actually kind of inverts the trains. Going up the spike instead of spinning upward like most do. I'm wondering if this impulse was the prototype. I think it was. It didn't last long, but then again, Intamins are known for being not really reliable. Yeah, right up to 6. Yeah, it's just what else I had put down as Storm was one of the first shows I watched along with Final Thunder SPD when it was on Jetix back in the day. And Hurricanger is the first one I watched that was sent of a Sentai series of the PR that I had watched first, because Liveman and Jetman were not adapted. That was before their time. And I think the other more recent Sentai, like Q Ranger, Lupat, Bright Soldier, which is now being adapted as Dino Fury, which will make it the first time I watched the Sentai before the Ranger series, and now Kira Major. Trying to think about other series, like I did watch one episode of Tokuja, one episode of Denziman. After Tokuja and Denziman don't have adaptions. I did do GSA, I remember. And I think I actually really got a lot of what was going on in Hurricanger, surprisingly. And I mean, having Ghost in the story, I wasn't really sure how that was going to work out, but there's like more of a samurai-esque story to which, in the end, kind of makes sense. why they would make Cam a green Kamen samurai. Which, fun fact, it was learned during the viewing globe today that that Jason Chan didn't know if he was going to be Dustin or Cam when he got called that he was getting cast, or like he'd been cast onto the show. Yeah, like kind of like with the love between them, that was interesting. But I definitely feel like that Isu and Ishu are more like hardcore than Hunter and Blake. But then they're going more for a laid back season anyway. Shimatsu's kind of a little more insane, but come on, Isu, Iku, and the girl ninja, who are Marine Caprice cowards, they're a lot more overpowered, I'd say, versus their counterparts like Giant Kabuto Raija and stuff that they did with the Fubiro and Weiandu. I think that's how I say their names. That makes them a bit more of a threat for the comedic tones. But again, I was saying they're more of a laid back comedic season with Ninja Storm, where I still feel kind of worked because some of the monsters do look a little quirky, if I do say so. But I mean, the straight man being Vexkiss was good, but Vexkiss debuts much earlier than Ninja Storm, than Modron and Shimatsu's counterparts. Vex Sunduru is the last one to appear, where he appears before Manombro was around from the beginning in his larvae form, and then Shimatsu shows up first around when Hurricanger shows up. Yeah, I feel like again, kind of saying with Second Born Royals and Julian the Phantoms, those are going to be more on the top of my priority list for right now. But long term, I'll probably go back to Go-Go 5 because I already watched Lightspeed Rescue, because that's one of the few series I have watched the PR that I do want to see the Sentai that has been officially released by Show Factory. I do want to go back to Turbo Ranger at some point as well. Yeah, those will probably be a hot minute. I think I'm looking at Time Force and RPM when it comes to Power Rangers, and I think we have Beast Wars returning next weekend. Might be the weekend after. Not quite sure off the top of my head, but I do feel like looking at Kiramei, the Kame Stones arc, I think we all agreed that Takumi should have been evil for longer, but I blame the pandemic on that. They might have planned on doing 3 or 4 episodes of him being evil, but they cut that just so they could, because of Ryo being diagnosed and they had to shut down for a month. Takamichi is very interesting, and kind of seeing how each think of how he thinks of Mabushina, who is his adopted sister, his brother, who is the mentor, who gave him his nice big drill machine, and then later they can become the top part of the crystal itself. I'm kind of interested in seeing Zebulon in action. That's actually going on tonight, because it's already tomorrow in Japan, as well as Saber's premiere. So I know that's why now people are going to watch live, even though some people are going to wait for the subs. Anyway, But I do feel like in this like middle, late teens, early 20s arc, I feel like there's some cool stuff, but I don't feel it's worth a full episode. So I was thinking like, just kind of like dumping a small group of monsters together into my fan fiction, which is based just more going to be the true episode for Chase, who is only a Coaster Kids ambassador and not a part of the Thor's United network. So, and he's more of a NorCal focused episode with the Preston Castle. It's like these unused spheres are going to be in there, and they're going to face many trials in order to escape. It's going to kind of function like Halloween special, though it's still summertime in world, kind of like how I did like the Christmas special in Jitakosa Sentai Himitsu Ranger, where they're flashbacking to Christmas in July bit, which is a lot earlier on in the series. It's like seeing episode in like the mid 40s, talking about something that happened probably around episode 28, episode 30. But yeah, Saber, I'm kind of banishing because I do enjoy those aesthetics, even though I thought like based off initial images. Where's the image saved for that? Food. Let me just change that. Yeah, change the one that it is. But let's get back to it for a second. Is that I do feel it since we came back from that month-long shutdown that I mentioned with Kiramei, is I do feel the show kind of went downhill a bit. Not because of waste. I think like the actor came out now going to use male pronouns and stuff like that the other day. Does it mean Naki is male now or what? But I do feel like I wouldn't say I was like a bunch of mess with how they did with like, the new forms and stuff. Ian looks cool. That still looks something to look forward to like next year because the film's gonna come out in December. And it's gonna be like 6 months before it is subbed, But yeah, 02, not really used. Dark One suit does look cool. Hiroi's final form, I think just the helmet is kind of mixed. But yeah, stop. I wish I could change, change between windows of share automatically, but some things are easier said than done, Can't do any part of it, but like with Q1 skin and stuff, Kenzan and a spot I've not really been seen, and as we're kind of saying, like a Buster I thought was actually going more like earthy looking, but let me pull up image of that, share a different screen. There might actually be like different books, like because the base one is like more earthy, but a new window. Stop sharing that. Yeah, this looks more like mechanical versus the more earthy one that kind of looks like. Also, I looks more like, especially that was more like an axe, so that's why when I fan fiction I called him Axe. You know, he has this big AF sword. So that's kind of a bottle. Or, but I think he uses the same driver as. So he just kind of use the same thing. Totally kind of use the same thing as a Kenzan to transform, but might be wrong. It's probably that like belt thing doesn't really matter. But yeah, I do feel something interesting I wanted to say is like AI-chan, who is portrayed by Mao, who is Luca and Raptor, and she also was the voice of Chibigaru in Rai Soldier, is I do feel like that feels like that it's like very close to happening, even though like why would we ask Alexa to store our private feelings? That might be a big risk realistically, but it would be interesting to look at. Well, I didn't even use these other things. Yeah, I did all that. Yeah, starting Soombar. We have the Hurricanger one. I forgot up this whole time. Kamen Rider one. Kiramei one, I already did those. But yeah, we kind of already did like my extra bit beginning, talking about becoming channel stuff. You know, I do feel like my two favorites would have to be Isamu and Jin. Overall, like Jin's more like my childish part of me, but Isamu I do feel is like my serious side that I do feel is more kind of almost like this is almost more like a much more corrupted version of Isamu, even though they're in completely different situations. People saying like kind of the cruise ideas for the ending is kind of lost in translation. I do feel I can see what they were kind of going for more than I think people give them credit for. Yeah, just to recap, next time, probably end of October, next stream will be focused on Cans Against the Universe, Muppets Now, Julie and the Phantoms, and the Secret Society of Second Born Royals. That'll be Talking Not Toku Live, along with a video from the wedding trip. Hope I can get some more footage from that, but that possibly might get scrapped. I'm telling you right now. And then, so yeah, live stream might be end of November. It'll probably beginning of November, depending on how quick I get through Join the Phantoms. But I might focus more of my time on pushing out Tale 14. I already recorded. I just need to edit, put the photos in and stuff. And then I might record Tale 15 if I have enough time. I don't want to edit or feel pretty good where I am with my school stuff. Don't want to watch anything until at least an hour, But yeah, I can't wait to hear about these Florida stories that I have, and hopefully I'll be staying abroad in Spain next semester. But before that, we're doing Talking Toku again, giving my thoughts on Saber after the first quarter or so. But yeah, I'm Lindsay. Comment, like, subscribe. Strike a if you're subscribed, and I'll see you next time.